Everyone, this hi. So this is the second SMC which I'm attending, and the first one itself was quite an inspirational one where I met a lot of people who are present out here also, and they had been inspiring for starting up a new company for this product, which at that time just made few pieces of it, and today I'm proud to say that we have deployed 10 of these around out here for covering live coverage of this conference. Of course, there are some initial hiccups, as always will be in any startup thing. That's what startups are all about. But there is a lot more learning than anything else. So that is exactly the story which I want to say. Started way back in 1 minute. Okay, he'll set up that thing meanwhile. Started my entrepreneurship way back actually in IIT Kanpur itself. In IIT Kanpur, I had as a student, BTech student, I made some smart terminal. As MTech student, I made some intelligent devices with graphic screens ahead of the time, and looking out for application. And that's where the Indian language application came in the front, and the technology which developed from there, I stayed on out there as a research engineer, became the Indian language technology, which is what has transformed the world, because the language standards which I developed are now part of the Unicode, etc. So the GIST technology is the one which emanated from that, and when CDAC started in '88, I basically started the group out there, and then the first ASIC in the country, and a whole lot of things happened. Now, government, of course, has limitations. So in 1996, I came into Bangalore to start a company where there was a partner who basically invited me out here. I came in out here, and when I came in out here, just the flight which I was taking, he just said, "Oh, you're taking the flight. There's something I forgot to tell you." Okay, doesn't matter. When you come out here, I'll tell you. So fine, I come out here and I say, "Okay, what is it?" Some financial problem. I won't be able to live up to my end of the deal. So now you jump into the water, into the swimming pool, and find there's no water. And that's how the entrepreneur thing starts. Because when you burn the bridges, you got all your stuff already shipped. Like, you got to continue on. And thanks to the angel investors and whole lot of people who basically are willing to help out, you essentially bank on your credibility. And I've been able to get up to 1 crore just in checks which had been written by various people. That is exactly what the angel network is all about. So basically what happens is that entrepreneur is all about finding a purpose. And when you find a purpose, the means will follow, because others will kind of support on that. Having done that, one fine day, Reliance walks in. And then, of course, there was no looking back. We made, in 2001, the first full-service network with the fiber optics everywhere. Okay, that is in 2 cities we tried it out. Now, of course, it won't scale up simply because a whole lot of multinationals diverted the attention in terms of like, this won't scale up extra, and that way it came to its kind of a Indian end. But started another company, but this company was based on set-top boxes ahead of its time for the cable market. But cable is ruled by the mafia, and a better box is what they don't need. So therefore, all that happens is that you make something which is better than the world, but there is no taker simply because you have to always make something where there is no bottleneck in adoption. The consumer may want it, but who's going to finally take it to the consumer? So finally, there will be a lot of learning.
I looked at his background, and I believe that he has done quite a bit of research in agro and food processing. And so I like to open a new topic.
Idea is very simple. You use your mobile for creating these websites yourself. You just simply from there browse the things, and basically whatever photographs, videos you have on the mobile, you upload these things, and these things will essentially appear out there. Then you can rearrange them, you can do some optimization, transformations, other things, and all the multimedia stuff you can do right out there. You don't need any experts. And this way, whatever you kept out here can be seen by everyone. And If you have a mesh of these things, they can wirelessly pair with each other, and that way you can basically show to everyone else. So this is what becomes a simple idea, but a tough thing to implement, simply because even as right now we are facing, there are a whole lot of disturbances problems, there are bandwidth issues, there are problems of optimizing all the videos, other things. There are a lot of things which have to be fine-tuned before something comes out. And all these things happened during the internet coming up also, where from the weak bandwidths, everything is essentially grown. Now, of course, we are talking about a step ahead, where we are talking about a local internet, where all these things will happen. In each of the localities itself, they will allow people to keep all the local stuff right out there. Why do they need to go to the global internet and have people access out there? And they will be able to enhance their productivity, creativity with this. So with this, the market is essentially humongous. We are talking about millions, billions of these particular things everywhere. But for that, we've got to make it a device which can be just shipped anywhere, and people can on their own use it wherever without any hand-holding required. Now that's a kind of a tough calling. So how do we end up creating all these things? What kind of infrastructure is needed? How big a team required? So you will be surprised. Way back in IIT Kanpur, that was in 1980. Okay, there was me, and there was another student who was helping me out. Okay, the two of us. Right now also, after in between having huge teams of 150 people and all that, one has come back to the same startup mode willingly, with two of us out here, myself and Mr. Ravi out there. So basically, and now of course in the cyber world, Bangalore, me in Bombay, like through the networking extra, like the developments happen. And after a long time, came back to the hands-on mode, where you do all the program development yourself. So each and every aspect of hardware, software, multimedia, each and everything is being done by us. There is nothing which is essentially outsourced. Okay, there are some hardware extra which are being given to others for making, but all the design essentially is by us. So basically what happens is, that is what the entrepreneurship is all about, that you have to be willing to take all the responsibility yourself, the buck stops with you. Not because others cannot do it, but a new innovative product requires every single thing to be kind of coordinated so intensely that unless this is within few minds, it cannot be done. There is a famous saying in one of from the earlier times that a structure of a company reflects itself on the product. If there is a big multinational, very huge company, then they will divide up the product blueprint into several parts so that it can be handled by different departments. So the product necessarily will become something which will be complicated just because so many interfaces are needed to be able to deal with so many people. And therefore, over years, they'll keep sorting out the problem. But when there are few people, there are no communication bottlenecks, there are no meetings, other such things. Every day is what becomes the day for clarifying new architectural thoughts. And that way the things evolve by itself. So what you see out here, which you can see on the mobiles also, is something which tomorrow would be, let's say, there in all the localities, in the malls, in the housing societies, in railway and airports and other places. So basically in all the places, you just connect to the Wi-Fi and you can know all about the local place out there. So this is something which basically, in order that it can happen, there's a lot more which has to go in, but we have already made the beginning. The first version is out, and the first 1,000 of them are getting rolled out right now. Now, of course, the generations, this will keep expanding. So we are looking out right now, okay, for the like-minded people who can complement us towards this adventure where basically we carve out something which becomes a technology for the world. And SMC, which had inspired this formation of this
kind of our public chat, and they said, can you solve this problem of making vector images available kind of on our fingertips? It was a little complex problem because you have megabytes of data and which has to transfer on 30 kbps, 40 kbps. So we worked a couple of months, built a POC and said, hey, this looks interesting. So they said then how do we take it forward? So we said, okay, let's do a 50-50 venture. That's how the company started Venture Technologies and where we are today. Today, if I look myself, I think it was a good decision.
Any questions?
Yeah. Okay, this is essentially a mobile edge server. Okay, normally all the server technology is Linux based. Okay, where you require separate Wi-Fi access point and routers, etc. All of these are condensed into this, and this also is operating from the battery from the beginning of the day, and it will continue till the end of the day. So it has got that much of battery backup, so that even in rural areas, this can work with just a solar panel. So it's designed for 24/7 operation in a local standalone manner. It's a Wi-Fi device. It has got a server built in inside, which essentially can communicate with any of your mobile devices, tablets, other such things, and they can be used. It has got a built-in authoring tool, so it can be used for creating all the multimedia pages itself. So around 25 mobiles can be supported by this at a time. Yeah, so now what happens is, while it is allowing others to connect to it, this itself can connect to simultaneously to another device. That's how we form a mesh. So therefore, a mesh gets formed by one device connecting to other devices, which in turn connect to other devices. And now, depending on the congestion and other such things, like the distances can vary between 10, 20 meters, 30 meters, whatever. But basically, you can cover up as large area. Now, one of the beauty is that unlike the normal access point, where if you have repeaters, you can have just 2, 3 of them, the bandwidth halves with each of them. Here, the contents are replicated. Each of them have got a 64 GB of flash inside, which tomorrow can be increased. So therefore, when the contents are replicated, the bandwidths are not diluted. So it is a source of the contents, and that's why everyone can essentially access it in parallel.
Thank you. Yeah, so I think in the interest of time, we are running 10 minutes behind schedule. So we can discuss it offline with sir. Sir is there. We'll move on to our next session, Mr. Siddharth Gupta, CEO of Tribo Hotels. Yeah. And we have an,